Hello, you're welcome back to Project Management Demystified. Right. So this is episode seven of our Agile Project Management series, and specifically focusing on the role of a Scrum Master. Right. So we've covered a number of things on what a Scrum Master does, and in the last episode, I spoke about the product owner and how the Scrum Master work with the product owner coming up or owns the product vision, and then sharing it, breaking it down. Scrum Master supporting the product owner to break things down and then bring it down to the team. There was a bit I mentioned in the last episode or 2 episodes ago around Scrum Masters not necessarily being noticed. So I just want to expand a little bit on that. So if your car is working, so if you have a car and since you've had the car, it's working smoothly, you might not notice anything about the car except you observe intently, except you observe closely. So as long as your car is working, you don't really notice things around the engine, the transmission. You don't. You just get in the car, drive the car, and it takes you to where you want to get to. And it's the same thing with work generally. And then I'll bring it down to the role of a Scrum Master or project management professionals generally. As long as things are going well. So let me take a step back. I said something, and I've said it several times, multiple times on multiple videos, that if you are someone that like to take the shine, you like to take the glory, that's why you do what you're doing, then maybe project management might not be for you. Because except you sometimes want to break things intentionally, then you might go for 2 years and not get noticed. Because things are just working and no one would pay attention to you if things are just working as they should. I know it's quite an irony that things are going well, then I should be noticed for doing a good job, just doing your job. It is when things don't go well that some people get noticed. So as a Scrum Master, you might just be making sure the cog is spinning and things are just going as they should. So the events are happening, risks are being identified, the team is improving. You might not necessarily focus on the velocity of the team. Yeah, it's a good thing to do, but in my opinion, the most important thing as a Scrum Master is to be there for your team. Just be there for your team and make sure your team are excited, looking forward to come to work, that your team members are doing the best work that they can, that they are working collaboratively. When somebody is not available, when they're on leave or off sick, work is getting picked up, and as a Scrum Master, you're not having to get involved. Little things like that they are not in books. You can't see them in books, but that's what Scrum Master should be working towards. So you can be there facilitating events, that anybody can come up and facilitate an event. But how do you, without being noticed, make the team bring the best of themselves to work? That's the challenging bit, and that's the bit that adds value. We can speak about metrics. There are a lot of metrics in Agile project management, or that you can manage as a Scrum Master or as a release train engineer. But as human beings, yes, it's good to measure things, but as human beings, we can walk from the answer to the question. So if you're measuring flow, for instance, as human beings, we can just make sure that our flow is always good, even though the value we're delivering might not be significantly improving, or there might not be evidence that it might not be evident that it's improving. If you're measuring, just name it, any metrics at all that we really want to focus on to measure, we can just be working towards, or we can just move things in Jira, because that's where we measure these things. You can move things in Jira so that it looks like we're doing good. And there are different schools of thoughts out there, and there are schools of thoughts that say that some metrics could drive the wrong behaviors, and that's not what you want as a team. I know I've gone into matrices, but that's not what this episode is about. But yeah, I've just put it out there. So making sure that things are just going smoothly. You might not be noticed, but you're doing your job. The team, they are happy. They are motivated to come to work. They can focus on their work. So those are the kind of things that add value to the team. And then organically, those will now translate into the value that we actually want. But if you focus on just jumping to the outcome without fixing the basics, the simple things, then it'll be difficult for us to achieve those. Let me leave it there for today, and then I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Bye-bye.